Anyway, if anybody sees this ever sees the light of day and anybody's watching this part of it, the point is that Lucille Ball had a prediction that every 4K was going to be on sale. And
I didn't say every single one. I said a huge 4K sale. You are just putting things in my mouth and having fun with it, aren't you?
and it was so important to this woman that he brought it up multiple times in one day. Hey everyone, welcome to Why Are You Still Here?
It's been a long time.
Hey?
It's been a long time.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And Lucas, why are we still here today?
We have a lot of Halloween stuff to show off.
Yes. Well, we don't. Why are we here though?
Well, it's special features, baby.
That's right. 20.
That's ridiculous.
Indeed. Really, if we stayed on a schedule, we'd be at like at least 21, but probably 22 or 23 by now, but whatever. This is like 2 episodes in one, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Because we haven't recorded a special features in 2 months at least. And usually the point of the show is to do it at the end of the month.
Well, we're close enough anyway. The holidays are approaching.
Yeah,
People
no, that's
can forget.
fine. It's pretty much the end of the month. It's just we didn't do it for, I think it was the end of September was the last one.
Well, I mean, it made sense really to hold off until November because I was picking up so much shit like every week that if we had done it like in the middle or whatever, I don't know, wouldn't have been right.
Yes. Anyway, so if you haven't watched special features before, it is the show and tell mostly. Usually I lead up to that, but that's all
there's
this is really
no
going to be
point
today.
of leading up to it anymore. That's what the people want, Brandon.
I don't
Why
know
are
if
we
that's
so
what the
poor?
people really want, but
These videos do great
what,
for what they are and how long they are.
That's what Lucas wants is show and tell. But we'll talk about like different things, like if there's like an upcoming episode or something we're working on, or if we have like a story that doesn't fit anywhere else, or just what's happened in the last month and that kind of thing, which actually does remind me, there is one brief thing that I have to say before we get into the show and tell. And that is, I never talked about what happened behind the scenes of The Exorcist Believer. So
everything about that fucking movie, number one, it's our 66th episode, which became 666 right off the bat. It's cursed. Secondly, yes. Brandon and I have had this goddamn 4K collector set that we should be showing off in this special features, actually, that is not being shown off. So it's cursed. So talk about how Pazuzu's wife took over your computer after you talked about her beautiful design.
It's literally, it pains me still to this day. We go see the movie, and as I'm sitting there, I don't know exactly when it happened, but it happened at some point. I'm sitting there, and I got up to go to the bathroom. Lucas hadn't arrived yet. I sit back down, so on and so forth. Basically, we see the movie. It's terrible, right? And then I go to leave and I realize I don't have my keys. And I'm like, that's not good. And so I'm like, well, they must have dropped into the seat, right? So I turn around, I go back inside. It's like raining at this point too. And so I go back inside and I'm like, hey, I think I dropped my keys, blah, blah, blah. Can I check in the seat? And they're like, well, another movie's starting like right now. But if you hurry up, I'm like, okay. So I go in there. There's people already sitting in those seats, like
that's awkward.
that. And they were real weird about it. And I was like, hey, this is strange, but can I check the seat there? I think I lost my keys. And I also lost my flash drive as well. I did not know that at this point. And so whatever. So I look, and luckily I'm able to find the keys, right? I had to look in multiple spots. I had to be like, hey, could you get up? Like, because the first seat I checked, it wasn't there. And the next seat, that's where it was, but whatever. So these guys were like obviously put out by me, which is understandable. And finally I get the keys, I'm able to leave, whatever. Before that, Lucas and I had recorded a short at the theater, right?
Yes.
And it was already like a little bit cursed because we recorded it multiple times at the theater, and
I
it
remember
was
tried to
still
record it
like,
in the parking lot of a Wendy's at one point.
whatever,
Like
this is like the best option. Like, this is the best one. So it's like, okay, whatever. Fast forwarding back to the keys. So I'm able to leave. And then I go before leaving, and I'm like, I'm going to post that short, right? And I go to open it, and it literally, this has never happened to me before or since, deleted itself, right? And deleted itself so I can't post it onto YouTube. And I'm like, holy shit, this is not something that can be replicated. What am I going to do? So I had to text Lucas. I'm like, where are you? And he's like, I'm at Wendy's. And I'm like, what Wendy's? Because I'm going to go there right now. And unfortunately, he didn't see it in time, which is, fine. But we ended up trying to record it through FaceTime because that was our only option at that point. Like, we're going to record it through FaceTime, I guess, whatever. So again, lost my keys already. The movie sucked. And now mysteriously, the short we recorded, which was not easy to record, disappeared. Proceed to call Lucas through FaceTime. Short version of events is that we tried to record a
tried
short
in vain
through
many
FaceTime
times.
3 separate times over the course of 2
One of
hours.
which I think was like upside down.
Yeah, one was wrong because for whatever reason, the sensor in your phone wasn't showing that you were holding it the right way. So you had to hold it a different way. Another one had issues because it was completely missing the audio. Two of them, in fact, were like that because when you start recording, you have to go and select a whole nother menu and a whole nother option to record audio for it, right?
That's
Which I
bad.
found out on our last take. But here's the deal, it'll record my audio, but it will not record Lucas's audio. Okay. So that was 3 times that we tried to record this thing, and it ended up being a failure every
Every
single
single
time.
time. And so we
And
just had to
our
decide on having like the good and the bad, like
that was
kind of
our
there's like
literally
the
the
only thing you
only
could
thing I could
do.
come up with to try and salvage the situation is that, okay, we're recording 2 separate shorts, which sucks because let me take a step back here. The first short we did was really funny. Like, it was
Yes.
really good and it was really funny, and it's like that can never be replicated again. Whatever. So we do our separate videos. I I gave Lucas the negatives. That was his present because that's the fun one. And I got the positives, and then we sort of had like dueling perspectives on the movie. Nobody cared.
No.
So that was all that, right? Leading up to that, I had to send you the intro for the Saw video, right?
Oh, I forgot this was all around the same time.
Oh yeah, this was all one after the next. So again, uh that all went off without a hitch. Pretty much was, the recording, editing, everything of the Saw video.
Yes, your
But I
coup
go
de
to
your
send
coup
it
de
to
grace.
Lucas. This is the very next morning. I go to send it to him, and I didn't get sleep because I was spending so much time trying to get it exported to Lucas over there. So that was another thing too, was that I was working a double without any sleep. at all, out completely out of my control. Um, but I go to send it in the morning before I leave for work, and it's like your, storage on your computer won't allow this to be sent. The way that Apple works, it's like if your storage is too high, then it won't let you send it. It's crap. I don't even want to get into it. As it turns out, everything is saved in the cloud on your computer, whether or not you want that, whether or not you like
I'm
that.
sure you can adjust it somehow, but like out of the box, iCloud, every whether you're on
Yep.
your phone, your iPad, your
Yep.
Mac, it's all going to
Yep.
take up that same amount of
Automatically.
space.
Nothing is saved actually on the computer itself. Nothing.
Unless you
Nothing.
manually do it.
Yeah, but you have to keep manually doing it because it will keep on taking itself and pushing it off into the cloud. It's shit. If you keep clicking on it, like if you want to just keep clicking on it, then it'll keep it on your computer, but you'd have to perpetually click on it forever. Um, so it was like, I have no space, so I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. I was like, obviously everything is saved in my computer. What's taking up the most space here is documents and desktop, right? So I just went and unclicked documents and desktop. Not a big deal. It's on my computer. Obviously, it'll be super easy to put that back in the cloud. Whatever. I unclick it, and right before my eyes, my entire desktop disappears, right? And I'm able to get the video sent off to Lucas. I'm like, I have to go to work. I can't even worry about all of this right now. But get back home. Turns out I lost everything, every single thing on my computer. Everything. And it is 100% unsalvageable because I thought I had everything stored on my laptop. Turns out it was all stored in the cloud. When I unclick that, it removed it from the cloud and also removed it from the computer because it doesn't exist on the computer. So I had to go and try to get back what I possibly could, which was very little, with stuff that was just in my downloads. So I had that. I mean, I had like 1,000 different sound effects that I used for video editing.
That's
I
got to
had
be the
all
like the toughest pill to swallow is that because time consuming it would be otherwise to yeah.
awful. It was all my sound effects, it was all photos that I used for videos, video, this was the toughest pill to swallow because it's like, okay, fine, the videos I've edited, you could still just download inferior versions off YouTube if you have to. My thumbnail photos that I edited were all gone.
Oh
I
yes,
mean,
all
this is
those
stuff that I put days and days and days of work into.
high res
I literally
thumbnails.
wanted to give up on life. Like it was so much work that I put into all this that was just gone. Just like that, just gone and no way of getting it back. So I had to basically just go, well, there's nothing I can do about it. There's the serenity prayer, which is very helpful for somebody who is a control freak like me. And I just go, there's nothing I can do about it. So I have to move on with life and just start up again
I'm sure
because
you'll
I
face
went through
bigger
like
disappointments in your lifetime, but yes,
this
at the
is
moment this is
this is definitely on the list of worst
monumental.
ones. Like I didn't want to touch my computer for like 2 weeks after this. Like I didn't want to edit anything. I didn't want to edit any photos. I was like, I just felt like, what's the point? Because I reuse so many things from thumbnail to thumbnail. And I still can't do that. That's all gone. But I had to go and find what I could possibly find, which was I had a lot of stuff in my downloads. I had some stuff on my phone photos as well. None of it were the actual like PSD files, the Photoshop files, but it was, actual PNGs. So they can't be edited, but at least I could still have some of them to look at. So that was all gone. And this is literally all because of The Exorcist. And then the cherry on top of the shit sundae, as Lucas likes to say, is that I also discovered around that same time my flash drive is missing. What's up with that? Ooh wee.
There you go.
turns out that fell out of my pocket too, when I was in the theater. And that's also, that's like not as much as the thumbnails. Like that's still the worst part of all of this. Um, Also videos are missing too. So it's like if YouTube ever decides to like strike our channel and take it down, there's some stuff we're never getting back. So that's scary, but whatever. Um, so I'm like, okay, this all sucks so bad. It all stems from the Exorcist movie. It sounds funny, but it's really truly does. Like if the Exorcist movie didn't come out, none of this would have happened. And lastly, I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna stop by the theater because my flash drive must be down in the seat somewhere. So I stopped by and I was like, I made sure that there was no movie showing, until 6 o'clock. It was the day of the Taylor Swift concert thing. And so I had hours. I showed up at like 2 o'clock and I was like, hey, can I go in there? And it was the same manager guy that was there when we were there for The Exorcist. And he was like, yeah, for sure, go in there. And I go in there and I spent about an hour searching down into the seats, pulling them out, literally went up to the other seats that we moved to, because we did move to other seats because there was people there that were like loud and weird. And so I went there, I searched those, I pulled them out, I have my flashlight out, everything. I'm dealing with employees walking in that are obviously coming in there to smoke weed or something. And because it's an empty
Yes.
auditorium. And I'm like trying to explain myself because I look like a crazy person, but I never found it. Never. So it either fell down into the seats and just vanished, or those guys that were sitting there took it. I don't know why they would, but maybe they did. So yeah, luckily that was the end of that excursion, but like literally everything important that is connected to this channel was completely damaged or just removed from existence because of the Exorcist believer. So basically, you ever hear like there's like cursed movies and stuff, and I remember when they were filming The Exorcist the beginning, there was constantly stuff happening on set and whatnot, and that always stuck with me, was that kind of stuff happening around like demon possession stuff. And it's like I've been affected by it because it's not bad enough that the movie sucks ass, but this all has to happen too. So whatever, I'm still trying to recover from it.
I can tell this is like a
And
therapy session. We went from special features to like therapy.
I it was
I'm gonna
funny.
put a timestamp so you can just skip all this and get to like the actual episode
Yeah, definitely. I just
because we got to get a move on
realized
soon. But
I've never talked about it, and I thought it was going to be really quick, and then I started talking
no,
and I started realizing just how much shit was lost in the process of just a couple of days. So yeah, and there's probably more shit too that I'm not even thinking about, but yeah, it's not good. So basically, fuck you, Exorcist believer. I
yeah,
hate you.
I don't even have the movie pre-ordered. I don't even want that steelbook.
I am a completionist when it comes to movies and movie series, and even if I don't like something traditionally, I will still get the steelbook just to have it on my shelf next to the other ones. And I don't think somebody could pay me to buy this movie. I have no interest.
Well, I don't have Exorcist 2 on Blu-ray.
Zero. Which one?
Exorcist 2.
Oh yeah.
Because it does have a Blu-ray release, but I don't have it.
No
One day
4K.
I'll probably get it to complete the collection, possibly after we just have this conversation. But whatever.
Whatever. So I
So
hope
I'm
you enjoyed
ready.
that story. Anyway, show and tell.
So I'm 100% sure I will. Hold on, scratch that. Got that review coming out in a few weeks. Scratch that, reverse it. 99.9% sure. I don't remember showing the watch. I did show it off at some point. Did I show off Scream 3, the steelbook that didn't have a spine slash?
Honestly, I don't know if you did or didn't.
Because
I
yours is
didn't.
okay. Then we haven't shown it off yet.
You
So
got it
here,
before me though.
yeah. So we have one sealed and one opened. Of course, mine is the opened one. I
I have
love
like a
that.
desk. I don't know if you can hear this. There's a disc rattling around inside of it.
That sucks.
Can you hear that?
But here, so if anybody wants a digital copy of Scream 3, there you go. I'm never gonna use it. So if anybody watches special features, here you go.
There you go.
Oh, it's only one disc, so your singular disc is rattling around. I couldn't remember if it was Blu-ray and 4K, but there you go.
I think it's
There's your
just
steelbook.
4K. Yes. Glorious. I hate that it's red, but yes.
I mean, the back looks cool though. I will say that. I love the voice changer on it.
The voice changer on there is cool. But like I told Lucas, it's the easy way to identify which one sucks when it's on your shelf.
Yes.
Too bad 6 isn't red too.
So there you go. That's the only movie that I have for the entirety. Literally the rest of this is like Halloween related paraphernalia, like Halloween the movie and then Halloween the season, like both.
That's good.
So I guess I could just clump like the masks into one portion and then the rest is really nothing, but that's like decorations and shit.
Okay.
Yeah, so the masks will all be together and the decorations and the pictures from Halloween night will all be, or the when I did set them up, will all be together. There you go. That makes it easy. I'll do the masks next. Unless you have
Lucas
more
was
movies
so
you want to
proud of
show.
his yard display that he took photos of them and got them framed, which he's
Yes, they'll all be we'll save that. But am I just gonna go into like this shitload of masks? There's
I
a
don't
lot of
care.
fucking masks.
Whatever.
Oh boy. All right. Well, here we go. They're all on the coffee table. The coffee table is taken up. So the first one we have is what I like to call um Indiana Kruger with this hat because the hat fucking sucks. It just
Yeah, why
reminds
is
me
this
of
so
Indiana Jones.
big?
It's huge. And I didn't really think about it until I bought it and I had it on the shelf, like just staring at me. And then the more I'm like, this hat fucking sucks. It's
It
terrible.
does.
It's
I don't
absolutely garbage.
I don't
It's like
think it's the right one. I don't
no,
think
this is
they sold you the right one with it.
I looked it up on YouTube and I've seen multiple reviews. This is the hat. This is the Trick or Treat
That's
Studios
so
hat.
unfortunate.
Yeah, but here he is in all his glory with his soul patch. Is Brandon's favorite feature of him.
His eyes are looking in like 7 different directions.
Oh yeah, it like peeled over one of them, like on Halloween night, and I just haven't fixed it because I don't really give a crap at all. But he's a nice little mask, as
Yeah.
much as you don't like him.
Yeah. Put up a photo of what the real burn makeup from the first movie looks like and compare it to this. Look at the soul patch.
Yeah, it's completely inspired by the first movie. It's not the first movie.
I mean, remember when we were looking at the photo and it's like, where is that on his face even? And it was like, oh, I guess it's that,
It's like
but
this
it's
little
so
corner piece.
tiny.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
like a quarter of the size.
Yep. So there was that one, and then we have my awesome cut up little painted Freddy versus Jason inspired mask, because that costume, go fuck yourself, looks absolutely nothing like what it should be if you have a keen eye. But it's inspired enough to where it was like a $35 thrift store conglomeration that was honestly better than I thought. But that dummy, because of that insulated jacket that I got, which looks amazing, I'll put up the pictures right here. Like that thing weighed that dummy down so hard because it was inflatable dummies that I used. I'll put up a picture of those too. All of these are like folded away in a storage unit at the moment because there's just no space to put it in the studio. But the Jason one turned out pretty awesome. So Freddy and Jason, we have them both. Bam. So Brandon,
Yeah.
should you show something else off, or should I just finish this? Because I feel like I'm just going to talk for the next 10 minutes, so you might as well just get something else. You get something, and then I'll get two things that I forgot about.
Yes. Ooh. I never smelled the hair before. Ooh. Some of it smells bad, like cat litter, and some of it smells like a haunted house.
Very good.
Hmm.
Anyway, so
Yes.
Brandon, we'll show off your next purchase here. Because I'm going to cut that.
The Halloween 2
yep.
Dream sequence mask from Trick or Treat Studios. In my opinion, the only good one.
Yep. And because of the issues that Brandon had getting it, he had two different copies.
Yeah.
He told me exactly what to look out for. Because there was a couple that I saw where it was like almost completely straight. Like there was no.
It's
like
because
nothing.
I'll tell you why. Because it's the mold has like where I don't know if it was ever on purpose or it was the way they cut it for the movie, but it has where you see lines above the eyes.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is on every single incarnation of the mask, from the first one to the second one. It has like these, like it has like lines above the eyes. It almost looks like eye cuts that they didn't fully complete, but that's just how the mask is. That's how the screen use mask is. And so jackasses that work for Trick or Treat Studios that don't know what they're doing obviously just went and they were like, eye cut line, and then they just went and cut that too,
Mm-hmm.
So it was missing this entire spot here. Like the paint job looked better on the other one, but that bothered me so much.
I encountered a few because I worked at a Halloween store like for the entirety of the Halloween season. So I had the opportunity to like look at like 10 different masks in a box and pick out like the best one. And I back in the day would have went for the paint job, but ever since Brandon has opened my eyes, that's not what I look for immediately. That's like a secondary thing. But there were so many texture and paint. Some of them are like I'll show that off with this one, I guess. So are you ready, Brandon? Are you grabbing another mask?
No.
I'll take that as a yes. Oh. Because this one I noticed like a lot of variation with. There were some that
Why
were
did you buy that?
Stark white because I wanted to.
But I have the one that I don't even want. I could have just given it to you.
For free?
I mean, for less than you paid for it.
I don't know. I paid.
I can't give this thing away.
Nobody wants to buy it from you?
No.
Did you put it on Mercari or eBay?
Yes.
Damn. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Here's this one. I saw a couple that were like stark white, like they had like a gloss to them. Some don't have like as prominent of like that like texture that's all over the mask. This one was goofy to try to find like a really good one for. There were a couple where like the nostrils were like one was going this way and the other one's going the other direction. Some noses are like smushed this way, and it's like when it's all, you know what I mean? But this one ended up being pretty good. The eye cuts, some of them were like bigger than the others. Some were a little like too low. So
Yeah,
cream of the crop for this one.
it's
But
it's funky. I don't know what they were
you know
doing there
what
at
my
Trick or Treat
biggest
Studios.
complaint with this mask is? Where the fuck are the cuts on the eye holes? Why are there not like any punctures in the mask? Why is this not molded? That shit that they showed off at like the trade shows for like this mask
Yeah.
had all of that in there.
Not
And
only
it's
that, the neck is about an inch too long.
I kind of thought it was a little too long.
Yeah. They're
Probably because
supposed
it
to
should have
cut
been
it
fucking
right
mangled.
up to the bottom of those. Like actually some of like the cracks get cut off when they properly
Yeah,
cut the neck.
exactly. Which is
And
yeah, like in this section and this
supposed to be
section.
cut off a little bit, but then there's supposed to be cuts up into the neck. Like keep in mind the Halloween 2 mask takes place minutes after the previous one. So the
And
neck
look,
is
it's
supposed
on
to
the
look more like that.
and the
Not that
fact that
this
it
is
is on
perfect,
that
but
one
still.
pisses me
And
off. Like it's dumb.
like it should be more like this as well. And yeah, because the screen use one is cut through the cheek. So I don't know, but that's something you had to be careful of with this one too. And I never saw the half mask in person, and I just think that that's
Yeah, our
even
store didn't
probably
have it.
harder. Um, they went too far with the cuts for the head and the cheek in certain masks, and they're like falling apart. So you have to be super careful of that. Like some of them they
Really?
cut too much, they cut through because some of these parts are really thin, and you have to be so careful of how thin they are in certain areas. Like this right here that likes to collapse in on itself.
Yes, it
Like
does,
that
as
is
mine is.
like it's the up here where it meets.
Yeah, here you can
It's
see it where the hair
very
isn't
thin.
teased over it because I still haven't done that yet.
Yeah, it's not. It's scary. You're literally combining mass produced with like very particular cuts. Those things don't work out usually. Um, so yeah, something you have to be careful of. This obviously too. It's like there was a lot of these that were almost completely removed from the mask, and I
I mean,
mean
I
it
guess we
was
don't have to worry about it since ours are like we're not wearing them. They're just
yes,
yes,
yes indeed,
absolutely beautiful.
indeed,
Oh no.
and the hair smells funky.
Well, at least I gotta say, like the length of the hair, like this is like the best stock Michael Myers hair that I've seen. Like it doesn't
Sure.
piss me off to the degree that the other ones do, where it's not all floofy and gross. But here,
And Lucas touched on it briefly, but when you're looking for a Trick or Treat Studios mask, paint job is like
secondary.
third to
Oh,
everything
there you
else.
go.
You want to make sure that they're sculpt, as well as cuts are
Yep,
are good before that because those things you can't fix.
indeed. So,
And sculpt meaning like because you're like, well, it's all the same. It's not. They will use their molds until they're falling apart. So detail will be lacking on most copies, unfortunately. So you have to be careful of that. So look for crisp detail. Make sure there's nothing funky going on with the cuts. And paint and hair is just doesn't really even matter, period, because
that can
in
all be
theory you'd
redone.
want to get it overhauled anyway. So
So, but I do. Hold on. You have to close your eyes, Brandon. Okay, you have to close your eyes, and you have to keep them closed. No peeking. All
close
right.
your eyes and I'll miss you. Tomorrow I'll kiss you. Remember, I'll always be
All right. You
true.
can open them.
And then
Come on, babe. I
oh
want to do it
Jesus
with the mask
Christ.
on.
Come on, babe. I want to do it with the mask on.
Michael.
Yes. Yes. this is strange to me because I said I have a feeling you have this mask because for some reason you keep talking about it nonstop, which I found it didn't seem weird to me at first, but you kept talking about it like for days and you kept
Oh yeah.
asking questions about it. And I'm like,
it just piqued my interest like nobody's
I'm like,
fucking business.
you have to have it. And then what told me for sure that you had it, you sent me some like a photo from your computer, and I could see you had like a minimized YouTube video at the bottom of it, and it was a video featuring this mask. And I'm like, he either has a massive, massive problem or he has this mask. It looks good. It's funny how
I
darkening out the rest of the photo, like your image.
This mask is like there's just something about it. Of all three of them, like
I don't think it's
this
from the mold.
this just looks so this looks like it walked out of the fucking movie. Like
Oh,
especially like the one that I
ever
got, because there were some again that were like really stark white. Some of them didn't have like the bumps all over it, and just with the way it's shaded all around, like this is just it looks fucking good to me. I mean, you might think otherwise, but good lord,
I think
like
there's
that's
issues.
incredible.
It's not specific to your mask though.
Because
I
there were
have
some
I
again
have
like the
feelings
nostril.
that because we've talked about this, Trick or Treat Studios, they will alter their masks. I like how you have a fucking candle holder like inside of it. That's fun.
It's
Um,
a the anal bead mask stand.
yes. Oh, weird. Anyway, uh at least hey, it's not styrofoam. That's the important part. What were some of the nostrils like?
Like this one, like one would be like kind of up here, the other one would be down there, and that's not even like when it's smushed in a bag. It's like when you pop it out, and then again, some of the eyes were like really wide on some of them, and then one would be like up here, the other one would be like a little longer and like offset.
Mm,
So this one had like the most variation,
I mean, the
but
eyes should be bigger on it. They are too small, but it's better
I
to have
thought
eyes
that
that are too small than too big because you can't
because
fix
if you look
that.
at this one definitely has bigger eyes than this one does.
Hmm. The like the rotted mask has the more
It has
um
larger eyes.
accurate eyes. Not that it matters at all. I mean, it looks better than I expected, but I have a theory about this mask because it looks nothing like the promo photos. Um,
Mhm.
the promo photos
But
obviously looked perfect. Um, and it's not like yours, like I'm not trying to shit on it. Yours looks as good as that mask can possibly look. I
I
just have
spent a solid
theories
like
behind the
7 minutes
scenes.
looking through it because again, like I was staring at these masks like at work every fucking day, and it was taunting me. It's like you have to get them, you stupid idiot. And this was the last one that I got. And then I have absolutely it's
Hmm.
like I pull out the half mask next, and you're like, you need to stop. No, I didn't get that piece of shit.
Well,
I didn't
so
bother.
I said this though. I was like, so I have this really, really strong feeling that you bought this mask. And then Lucas looks at me and goes, I have a feeling you're going to be disappointed. And then he walks away from me, and then I'm like, okay, well, I guess he didn't get it then. And then now he's showing like I don't know what kind of weird reverse psychology that
Yeah, that's
was.
exactly what it was. But when I said close your eyes, did you expect me to say like I want to do it with the mask on? Like because we already showed
I
the other
didn't
two
even
masks.
get that was
Oh,
like a reference to the movie.
yeah.
Um Yeah. So obviously there was two different sizes made as well. One for Dag Fairch, one for Tyler Main. If you don't know, they were contemplating going with the clean mask look for adult Michael in that movie. So you can find promo shots of Tyler Main wearing that mask. It's a
Really?
different
I've never
size.
seen that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
So,
interesting.
well, it's funny you mentioned that because I like in my head, I was thinking if it truly is the same screen used mold, wouldn't the screen used mold of the clean mask be smaller because it is for Dagfarch?
I mean, I don't know which one they went with for it.
for trick or treat?
Like, I don't know who they went with.
Okay.
Tyler Main or the Dag Fair mold. I'm guessing the Tyler Main one would be too big, but then again, it seems to be a similar size as the other ones.
That mask
And
seems like ever so smaller if I wear it, but that could just be like, what do they call that? A placebo.
yes, I don't know, but they, like with the Halloween Ends mask, they, as I have discovered, it's the Rowan Campbell size. It's not the James Jude Courtney size that they sell. Um, and Rowan Campbell has a gigantic head, apparently. And on top of that, Trick or Treat Studios alters their sculpts for some reason. They won't ever say why, but they'll get these screen used masters to turn into molds and they'll alter them. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So keeping that in mind, I'm like, well, they have a history of altering their molds for no reason at all. And it just did not look right to me. Like, it does not, the promo shots looked right. And then they all of a sudden I see videos with this mask in it, which is the clean mask, and I'm just like, it just doesn't look right. Like there's issues with it. But you know, they'll never admit to it. So who knows?
As much as I really hate to say it though, like for just something that you know, stock $60, you take out of the bag, like our masks when we were kids were fucking bad. I mean, at least you get something out of it. And the masks that we bought back in the day, like those, like the Don Post Myers masks, were like
Yeah.
$60, like the Rob Zombie ones. And
Oh
even
yeah.
like the Bill Murray like collect, and that was like one of the best looking ones at the time, and that thing was still like $60, and that's not even adjusted for inflation. So I mean, I will you know, take the good with the bad, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I guess. They certainly look better today, but they're worse quality. So it's like those Don Post masks are still around today, while obviously the Trick or Treat Studios ones wouldn't be in
I
a
always think of
reverse.
like of the Don Post, like the mask where the hair is completely like just in shambles, you know, it's just like falling apart in on itself. I didn't know that Fun World made a Rob Zombie Halloween mask
Yeah.
like years ago, and they did like the paper mache one too that was made of like latex also, which is weird. But I saw reviews on YouTube of that, and that like the hair, you touch it and it just like clumps right out because because Fun
It's
World
the
was
one I sent
trash.
you from Meyer. It's they somehow got the, because you're like, look how bad this is, and I'm like, look at, I see this at Meyer, and you're like, haha, that's trash, and I'm like, yeah, it's the Fun World one. You're like, that's so bad, and I'm like, can't you tell? It's
So
the same mold as the Don Post one, and you were
the Fun
like your
World
mind was
one,
blown,
I
and
guess,
it's like,
is
can't you
reissued.
tell?
Well, just put that away in your back pocket like a body for later. All right. But they, if like Fun World, I saw them like when there was that video where they're showing off the trick or treat ones, and then the Fun World ones are like right next to it. I saw a video of some guy reviewing them like years ago. So did they like reissue them or something?
Don Post closed years ago.
Oh, that, yes, that is true. So then Fun World got the rights to it, or the mole. I don't know.
They must have gotten the molds, yeah, if they acquired them and used cheaper materials and you
It
name it. They
was
look
it
so
was it
bad.
was a mess watching the videos on
Yeah,
it. But God,
terrible.
I'll show off the last masks. They're all together. It's a trio. You know where this one's going. And yes, Brandon, the styrofoam head is wrapped up.
Yes, very
But
good.
the biggest thing, this was the first set of masks that I started picking up, because obviously you guys know that we've said it a million times that Trick or Treat Studios has lost the license to Halloween 2, 3, Child's Play, Universal Monsters.
What a shame.
So like the store only had, you know, a certain amount of them left. All the ones I have are the glow in the dark versions, of course. That's what Brandon told me to look out for. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have even noticed that there was a difference. And then of course the last one. So there you go. Nothing that you guys haven't already seen, but they're selling like hotcakes. However, certain things are like relisted for pre-order, and there's new things coming out for Universal Monsters. So like there's some discrepancy going on. I think this is just a ploy.
So if they're Don Post masks, they can do it. Doesn't matter if it's Universal Monsters
is
or
this
not.
one and the witch gonna
That
stay?
it's wrapped up in legal battles.
Okay.
Because
But
yes,
yeah.
they were Don Post masks, but they were used in a Universal movie. At least the Universal Monsters masks are based off of Universal creations, but none of them were actually used in a movie. And
Yeah.
they were made by Don
Okay.
Post, so they were acquired with Don Post rights. You know, like a Frankenstein mask, Bela Lugosi Dracula mask, creature mask, you know, that kind
That
of stuff.
creature
Like
mask is sick.
that's Don Post.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably they're fine with that. By the way, so Lucinda, hold up that clean mask for a second. So this mask is for some reason called the 92 murder mask, right? And really it was listed on the website as 92-foot murder mask for the longest time. So it showed me that they didn't even know what they were talking about. It was finally corrected, maybe because I kept making fun of them in Facebook posts. But anyway, I'm not going to get into the whole thing of why that's wrong, but obviously Chris Zeffro, when the movie released in 2007 and Michael Myers was locked up for 15 years, so you take 2007 and you minus 15 and you get 1992. That's obviously what he did. And that logic is wrong right from the get-go, because Michael Myers is locked up for 17 years in that movie, which would put it at 2009. So, logic thrown out the window from the very beginning. It was not 1992. The first part of that movie is very clearly 1978. That's what's written in Rob Zombie's script. That's what everything is alluded to in it. You don't see a single car, a single t-shirt, a single anything that's out of place, an anachronism that doesn't belong in 1978 in the first part of that movie. Then it jumps 17 years, and the second part of that movie takes place in 1995. There's a ton of reasons why that's backed up. Big Joe Grizzly is reading a prawn magazine of it was released in either August or September of 1995. Why would they have gone through that trouble? That's all I'm saying. All the cell phones in the movie are old cell phones. All the cars are, so there are older cars in there, and then there are cars that kind of throw in a little bit of issues into the mix, but for the most part,
definitely some 90s cars that are sprinkled all
some
throughout.
90s cars, but nothing past the 90s, like nothing past 99, right? So even if you're like, hey, modern day in that movie takes place in 1999, that still would not be a 1992 mask. You know, see what I'm saying? Like all of the first part of that movie, all those cars are things that were made at or before 1978. Everything. I mean, they have a photo of JFK on the wall, for Christ's sake. Like, why would you ever have that if it wasn't, like, nobody would have that now? You know what I mean?
They might.
Like, it's just weird. But obviously, I mean, it's stupid to even debate, but Chris Zeffiro is making us debate it. Obviously it's the 70s. And if anybody was like, that's not true, I would say go look at Rob Zombie's script that he himself, the creator of said movie, wrote, and it says 1978 in it. So it doesn't say 95 for the second part, but you know, you put two and two together, 17 years plus 78, and that's what you get is 1995. And all the styles, all the clothing styles is 90s. Cell phones, clothing styles, everybody's way of talking. Most people don't have cell phones. And at that time, everybody had cell phones in 2007. So you could look into it. It's a whole thing. It just bothers the hell out of me that they actually went as far as calling that thing the 92 murder mask, because it's not right. You
And
know,
I will
it's
always
just,
refer to it as that just for this, just because of
it's,
how,
he
just
does
because
it and it
of,
makes me so angry.
which is why I do it. Because the more, the more, the angrier you get, the more I'm gonna do that to you, obviously. So I just get
Sure.
great fun out of it. But no, the one that I got, I fucking love the way that thing looks. It looks damn good. And Brandon's like, sure, whatever.
Rant over.
Anyway, yeah, so that's all the masks, everybody. That's Lucas's hoard for the last 2 months, basically. It's my new thing. They're like all lined up above like the video game shelf, which is why
Yes.
it's now empty up there. But
That's just the mask, right? Or is that everything?
no, I still have a few little
Oh,
more
okay.
odds and ends.
Okay.
But the masks was like the biggest portion. Oh shit! You know
Oh.
what? Fuck it. This includes a mask, and I guess it. You know what? You go next. I'm not going to be as selfish as I generally am.
So I don't know what to go with next. Let's do
Well,
this.
I'm going to decor slash spirits
So
50% off sale on November 1st.
Lucinda was kind enough to pay for
Oh, here we go. I
most
almost forgot
of
about this.
something, which was my birthday gift, and it's lovely. I've put it into a couple different positions, you know, and this is the one that I kind of settled on for the moment, just because it's kind of unique. I've never seen anybody do it. I don't have the second part of this, but whatever. You'll see what I mean. And it's this lovely son of a bitch here.
Oh, there you go. You got the syringe in his hand, ready to
Yes,
stab in there.
exactly
Yeah,
right.
cool. Good shit.
Yeah, so it's missing the half of it, like the nurse, it actually getting stabbed into, so she's invisible. But I'm like, everybody does the
The
covering
blood
up of the
tears with
eyes
the
and the
scalpel.
scalpel, and that's what I originally had with it. But I'm like, you
That's
know
what my
what?
NECA one is set up as.
Yeah, I mean, it's what so many people do. My NECA one, like the
Cloth,
cloth
the
clothing,
retro cloth one.
it's the holding of the Elrod knife for mine. But yeah, most people go with the blood tears thing, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna go with the syringe. And I was also fearful that it was gonna snap off, so I wanted to keep it protected as well. And this plunger pulls up as well.
That's
So
cool.
yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go with this. And it is lovely. Um Obviously I have some issues on a Trick or Treat Studios level with it. They kind of went like heavy duty with the zipper like they didn't do with the original run, which some people might say that's fine. Why is that a problem? It's because it does things like this, like it doesn't hold closed properly, and you see the penis up here on the zipper and that kind of stuff. It's strange, but all in all, it's fantastic, and I probably would not have been able to get it without Lucas's generosity. So um it's very lovely.
That was the only one that sold the entire season, was the one that I got for you.
Really?
There's still
That's
three
funny.
more. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Nobody cares, I guess. But
No, they
yeah,
don't. They
so
love looking at them, but nobody buys them for.
because they are really expensive. Like the first run of these, um, like it doesn't really make sense. Like the Halloween Kills one has more paint on it, and it has more cuts that they have to do to the coveralls and stuff like that. Like more goes into the Halloween Kills one, but this one, there's nothing that's really particularly different than this compared to the original four they released, and those were all like $120 each, and this one is like 200.
200.
And it's like, why? Other than just inflation and Chris Sefro being a bitch and whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's good. I like it. The coverall, I guess it's fine, but the coveralls tend to ride up on it, which gives it that look, which really Dick Warlock had that going on in the movie.
Interesting.
Anytime they show his feet, it looks like that. Like as much as I try to pull this down, it goes right back to this every single time. So
Good shit. He's beautiful.
yes, indeed. Look at that sexy bitch. And that abnormally large syringe. Like when you think about it, like it's the
It's like a
size of
clown
like both of his
syringe.
hands together. It's imagine a doctor pulling that out on you.
You expect to hear like a laugh track in the background.
Indeed. I like.
Very good.
Yes. So thank you, Lucinda.
Yes, ma'am. That was one of the many benefits.
This is correct.
And also being able to
and
get
obviously it's
masks.
a universal property. So
Yeah,
when those sell out, they're done.
that was the catalyst, really. Was
Exactly
that.
right.
And that's why
And
I got so much Halloween 2 and 3, well, mostly Halloween 3 shit. It's like all I
yeah.
got. I got a lot of Halloween 3 shit this year.
I mean, it's smart too because it's like you don't want to end up regretting it. And as far as these figures went, I always thought, oh, I'll get the Halloween 2 one last because, that's what started off Trick or Treat Studios was Halloween 2. And it's like, they're always going to have that. I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to get like H2O and 6 and Resurrection and stuff. And it's like, oh, never mind. No, I haven't. It's moved up to
Yep.
the top of the list now, unfortunately.
But I was going to say the biggest benefit is being able to look at a stack of masks that were never put on a styrofoam head or worn by a snotty, shitty kid. Or when people come into the store and they were like hotboxing like cheap weed, like smoking blunts, and they want to try on like masks. It's like, dude, that's gross. It's the fucking mask smells like weed now. The store smells like weed. You're disgusting. Anyway, so that's another.
Snoop Dogg stopped smoking weed. Anyway.
Oh, did he? Wow. Hell froze over too, didn't it?
I know. I thought it was a joke at first. But yeah, he did. He did it for his grandkids, apparently.
Oh, well, good for him.
Speaking of Trick or Treat Studios, this is both the best and the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Ta-da!
There you go. They're not sold out, but I still haven't bought one yet. I don't know why I haven't.
Or did they restock on the website?
Yeah.
Okay. They were sold out for the entire Halloween season. And when I first came across these, it was at Halloween City, which is a store owned by Party City. And they had like 20 of them. And I'm like, oh, I'll get one. And the last thing I asked Lucas if he wanted was ironically, which goes back to what we just talked about. But I was like, hey, I'm at Party City. There's these, Rob Zombie's Halloween masks. You want me to get one for you? And he was like, no. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, I'm not going to ask him anymore because he's just going to tell me no. Plus, he said that he has to stop buying things because he has no space anymore. So I'm like, I'm not even going to ask. What's the point? Plus, there's so many of them. Well, they sold out completely. I went back in just a couple of days later when I found out Lucas wanted one and they were gone. And I was like, okay,
because
well,
people really like Corey.
then. It is so cheap. It is so thin. People are dragging them through the coals over this because it is so cheap and thin.
Oh, wow.
And for $20, it's kind of like, what? Because the screen use one was thicker than this. It was vacuum.
Well, yeah.
form.
And it actually had like details on like the hat, like it had like the lines and shit in there. Like that is nothing.
That's
on
okay. It definitely would need to be repainted if you wanted that. But right there behind your head, that clown mask that I gave you. So that is what I was expecting it to be like.
That's what I expected it to be.
Nope. Instead, it's like once it starts aging, it's going to become really brittle. But whatever. It's super cool. Otherwise.
Yeah, otherwise it's cool.
You gotta love your Corey Cunningham,
Yes, indeed.
And finally, as far as masks go, This is the bane of Lucas's existence.
Yeah, you fucking. I don't even want to look at it. I'm gonna walk away for like the rest of you just showing this off. Oh, it has a bag inside too, doesn't it? I can see.
It does. Not a bag. It
Or
has
the
the
plastic
holder, the shape holder.
Oh, the shape holder. I thought it was like the
I would
fluorescent where they just
never
shove the
keep
bag
a
in there.
stupid bag inside. No. Um, yeah. So the same thing they have in the glow in the dark mask. And apparently you can cut this out, but it's for you. There's a chance of FYE restocking the website at 3 a.m. every single day.
Really?
Yes.
Well, guess who's setting an alarm for 3 a.m. every single day?
Yeah. Yeah. Who are you kidding? You've been up at 3 a.m.
Oh, totally.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. These are going for like $150 each.
It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Agreed.
So this has a mask component, but so Spirit Halloween on November 1st and 2nd, their whole store is 50% off, but it's best to go there, right when they open up on November 1st. That's when all the freakazoids come out like us.
Yes.
Because everything is half off. So I'm, looking forward to looking ahead to next year, and I'm thinking, I have an extra inflatable. What am I going to do with this? So I'm looking around at different costumes, different masks, and like I see this set. It's $100, but it's half off, so it's $50. But it's Spirit, so you can't like try it on or anything. So I just left everything in the bag. But I figured for $50, I was gonna do a Pennywise. Give him the red balloon, with helium, so it's floating, and then put, just stuff a raincoat, in front of him, and you have Georgie, and like there you go. So
no, it should be you.
Oh, I could, yeah. Isn't that what you said before, that I could be Georgie?
Yeah.
So like I have to show you this fucking mask. Now
well, the mask isn't gonna work, obviously.
Obviously,
I figured that was implied.
I wasn't expecting this, but I was not expecting what I opened up to. The costume,
even the
itself,
deluxe version sucks.
The
like
costume
there's no
itself
good
is pretty
version
good.
of that mask.
The costume is pretty good though for $50.
Sure.
Like it's got all the pieces and it looks better than the standard one by far.
Sure.
So that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
But look at this fucking thing, man. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's awful.
You can't like do anything with this. You can't like, I don't even know if you could reshape it if you tried. Here, we're gonna put it on. We're gonna put this one on actually. Oh,
looks like Ronald McDonald.
Right? And look, it's got like the foam pieces in there that will do absolutely
Okay, just
nothing.
keep it like that. Hold it up, just the back of it. Lucas got a Chucky mask, everybody. Look at that. That's cool.
Oh my god, there's no like neck slit.
Because
they molded one.
They don't do it if it doesn't have a neck.
There's one that's molded in there, like where there's like a cut line. I don't know if you can even, it's not even gonna pick up on there. There you can kind of see like the divot.
It would ruin the integrity of it if they did, because it's only a head mask, like it has no neck on it. Oh my god, that's so bad.
I can't even see. What does it look like? Oh, now I can see.
I mean, it looks absolutely terrible. This is made by Rubies, right?
It says Spirit Signature Collection, but let me look if it's like, I'm pretty sure it's Rubies. Oh my god,
it's Rubies.
God, I don't even have a huge head. I can't even get that fucking thing off. Good God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, as soon as you pulled it up, I told myself, I'm like, well, the mask isn't gonna work, but obviously he did it for the costume.
Yeah, because the costume itself, like, I'm not gonna take the whole thing out. But they're annoying to put back in the bag. But I mean, it actually, it's got all the pieces and whatnot. It's like, it's good shit. It's fine for a mannequin. But
yeah, it's fine.
But for $50, I was like, that's good. I already have inflatable mannequins. But next year I'd like to get Jason on an actual mannequin, because he was shorter than everybody else because of how heavy that jacket ended up being. But whatever, that's already over with. But and then there was the Crystal Lake sign. I'll show that off, with the whole picture thing. But I really liked having the Crystal Lake sign. So I got this to put next to Michael for the next time because this was half off. So what
Mm,
did I pay for it? It was $11. Um, but I did have a question for you.
yeah.
Where the fuck is this picture from? Because the hair looks a little
Hmm.
goofy to me.
No, it's
Um,
good. It's a behind the scenes photo of Nick Castle.
okay.
You've never seen that photo before?
I probably have, but just something
It is one
about it
of
was
the
like
most prominent photos that you
this just
see.
looked funky to me. And then if you read what's on here,
Perfection.
it's kind of fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Killer
it's
believed to be dead wore masks similar to this, but it's
yeah,
like an actual picture of him.
no
Like that's
punctuation. It's an actual mess. That's why that stuff bothers me. Like, I'm like, like if you wanted the Haddonfield Herald, like that's not something they would have in it. You know what I mean?
and it's
Like they
funny
wouldn't
because
have
like
screen grabs and
they
stuff.
all have like a template that goes for every single one that looks like this. It's always the same picture placement. And like there's one
I
for
know.
Nightmare Before Christmas, and I shit you not, it's like the Halloween Town Herald. Like you didn't even fucking try. Like
There's a Halloween Town one that I really like. It reminds me of the Harry Potter one too, where it's like the sign
all the
and it's like
signs.
pointing into like Oogie's house and that kind of
Hmm.
thing. And I started to notice with those that they're all just pointing, a lot of them are just pointing in the same direction. And it's like that doesn't make any sense, but it's still
Yeah.
kind of cool. There's another one that's like the sewers of Derry and the town of Derry. And I'm like, that's really cool. But then they ruin it by putting it on it.
Oh,
Like
like the logo of the
it
movie.
chapter 2 or whatever. Like it's the logo exactly right. Like that bothers me. Because then it's like it takes away from the fact that it's like a map of Derry now.
Yeah.
Like I want it to be like a cool little like prop kind of thing.
Yeah, so
And
I didn't
then
buy this as like a prop, like for display all
an
year. It's
actual newspaper would be
like that
amazing.
would be cool. But this is
Yeah.
just to take the, you know, tie it to the fence so that way it's like a little newspaper thing next to the man.
Yeah,
Just a little,
yeah,
just adds a bit more to that
it works
character.
for that purpose for sure. There's another
Hmm.
one though it's a map of Halloween Town, which is super cool, but again, they shove a Nightmare Before Christmas on it, and it's like whatever.
This is like
But
Pennywise,
yeah,
like the pug version,
it
like a
looks like it
bulldog or a
came
pug.
from what's that website?
AliExpress, Wish.com,
What is that
Temu.
website? Alibaba, AliExpress, but
Yeah.
Temu.
Oh, good God.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, this so the last little prop that I got to go with Michael, because I just would like one all year. And then it's like it's $20. I get a 20% discount, so why not?
Oh yeah, look how small that is. I've never seen one in
Oh
person
yeah.
before.
Okay, yeah, this is how big they are. And I wish it actually had the cut in there and not just have it molded,
I
but
know. I know.
I had it like on the hay bale, where Chucky was next to Michael, so it kind of like
Yeah.
went with it. Like so if you know kind of thing. So
Like it's fine. Like there's no issue with it. These it would be nice too if they actually had a cut coming down from the nose into the mouth.
there was one, but
Um
it had a cut, but it was like cracked during shipping. So it was like, you don't want that.
that's no good. Yeah, it's and these were discontinued for a little bit and then
Oh,
they
were
came
they?
back and whatnot. So
Because they have ones from like the new movies. They went from Halloween 2. Like there's different ones. But I wanted the 78,
yeah, Halloween 6 one is the best. I used to make these. Like I made a living before I had a job of carving these pumpkins like that.
Oh, you
I
should have done it for me.
I could have absolutely have done that. I did it for
It's
Anthony and
so
Alyssa
funny
have one of my
because
pumpkins.
like I did all this weathering, all this painting, all this like curating of like cutting and like for like all this shit. The reason I bought that was because I go to carve this pumpkin and it looks like fucking shit. Like it looked terrible. So
I
I'm
could
like,
have
it was a
done it.
$5
Yeah.
pumpkin I threw in the trash,
I'll
whatever. And
send
then I
you
bought that.
photos of my work.
Okay.
Um, and the Halloween 6 one was always the most expensive one of the three because I would do 1, 2, and 6. and it was the most expensive by like $10 more expensive because I'd sell it for like 60 and the others were like 50 because my hands would hurt so bad after doing it. But I'd always use the same templates and all that. I had it all worked out really well, and it would come right back if I had to.
But you would have given it to me for the price of
I would just
on the
given it to
house.
you.
Okay,
I
cool.
would have given it to you for the price of the pumpkin, like the $6 or whatever for the pumpkin.
Yes.
I wouldn't have sold it to you. Okay. Let's see here. Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. I just have three more things to show off, but they're all lumped together, and it's a nice way to cap this off, and we're gonna have a fun laugh. So,
okay. Anyway, so I'm just gonna do the rest of what I have, and then you can do your last 3 items. All right.
Which you should know what they are because we haven't shown them off yet.
I don't know. So this is a little thing that I got the other day. I happened to see it at Walmart. I think it's cool. Every time I see these, I will buy them. Like they'll pop up every now and then. And it's the car from the Living Daylights.
Oh, very cool.
Like I'll walk through like the little model cars every now and then to see if there's a new one out. And it caught my attention. I was like, oh, cool. All right. And so I bought it. As I sent you a photo before, I have them up on my wall in my closet because I had nowhere else to put them, so they're there.
Very good.
Indeed. So there's a couple movies here.
I have a lot of movies to show off next special features, so we'll save that for that.
Halloween H2O Steelbook.
When the hell did this come out?
It's a K&B mask on the front of it for some reason.
That's funny. So is this Scream Factory? Like what is this release?
Hey, it's a K&B mask there too at the top. That's weird. Yeah, it's Scream Factory.
Damn. I want one. I know they're probably $80 fucking on eBay.
I figured you
at this point,
had no interest because they were so popular that I'm like, you have to know about them. And it's like, well, he'll get it if he wants to get one because they were everywhere. Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart.
I don't know how this slipped through the cracks. Is this the only one that they have on Steelbook?
No.
I mean, I've seen like the new trilogy.
The first 3 are like Steelbook. Well, that's not Shout Factory though.
Okay, see, that's what I'm asking because if it's like a shitty 4K transfer, like a Lionsgate one, I don't want it.
This is the very first Steelbook for H2O ever.
Okay. It's good shit.
We still don't have every movie on Steelbook for the series.
Well, I'm still waiting for Rob Zombies on 4K. I still want that.
It's never going to happen.
I still want it to
happen. The first one might be able to happen. The second one's never going to happen because of how it was shot. And that's why I smile. Been a while.
My Best Buy still has this in stock, and I don't have it. My Best Buy still has this in stock. I just saw it today. I'm considering buying it.
Yeah, you should. They sold out. And then last but not least.
Oh, very good.
Yes, indeed.
I didn't even see the cover art for that, but that's a lot better than the cover art for the slipcover.
Yes, indeed.
Good shit. That was the best possession movie of 2020. That was the only good possession movie of 2023.
The only good possession movie of like the last 10 years. Alrighty. And then yeah, I'll just do it anyway. It doesn't matter. Okay. So obviously Spider-Man 2.
Very good.
Indeed. No Steelbook for this because it only was available in like a deluxe daddy, for like $350. And it's like they didn't offer just the Steelbook on its own.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I love the character of Venom. I'm a Spider-Man fan. I have no interest for a giant Venom statue. So, you know. And then last but not least, certainly not least, is this bad boy.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He's a wonderful.
Yeah, I have some other things to finish before I get that game, but I obviously know that the game is not going anywhere. So
Yeah. Yeah, I had it. You were talking about it the other day. You're like, people say it's good, and I'm like, I don't want to spoil the surprise that I had it, but I'm like, yeah, it's fucking fantastic.
yeah, once I
Um,
get some other obligations out of the way, I don't think I'm going to get to that game until December, but I'm definitely going to get it in the next couple weeks.
it's a lot of
Because
fun.
I finally turned my Switch on. I shit you not, for the first time since like January, and it was completely dead. It wasn't plugged in. It took literally like 20 minutes of that fucking thing to like get enough power to
Yeah,
turn on.
you're lucky that it powered on. So
I didn't think it was.
I just found you could have broken it by doing that. Like you need to keep that thing plugged in because the way that the batteries work on it, I just found this out the other day because
How
I
funny.
fell asleep with mine next to me on, and this
Like in
happened to
handheld
me.
mode.
The battery almost died in mine, like dead, like not like failure. You know what I mean? I could not
Yeah.
get it to turn on for the life of me. I had it plugged in for like 5 hours and it would not turn on. And it turns out it's this weird thing they have built into the Switch where their batteries, in order for them not to explode, they have it where if you run down the battery will literally fail. So there is like a 1 in 2 chance or whatever that you'll never get it to turn back on.
Damn. Usually I always end up in the category of not, turning the thing breaking, but
Yeah,
thank God.
yeah, yeah. It
Because
was a
I
nightmare.
was not buying another
I
Switch.
had to
That's what
like
I said to myself. I'm like, if this thing is dead, I'm not getting another one for a while.
it's weird that you didn't have it plugged in though. That's not
I had
even
all my
like a
other
Lucinda thing.
I've been using all my other systems before before Halloween started. And then when Halloween happened, it was like that wasn't happening. But I wanted to play Mario
Indeed.
Kart the other day, and then when I went to go do that, I couldn't because like it was taking forever. Anyway, so at least my Switch isn't dead.
Very good.
All right,
Rapid fire.
here's your favorite part. So Halloween 3, you guys know this. Amazing movie, one of my absolute favorite horror films. Just
Yes.
because go watch the review. Watch the
Oh,
Magic
right.
Pumpkin.
Oh God, I know exactly where you're
Watch.
going with this.
Exactly. I can't show you guys all my crucial information that's in here.
Yeah, see
Yeah.
that ID? What's it missing on it?
What?
Exactly.
Funny. That was pretty good. No, but last chance on the website. The wallet was sold out, but now it's not sold out anymore. But the bag is gone, which is what I
What a
really wanted.
shame.
Oh yeah, it's a complete shame. My the trick or treater bag, which goes obviously with the wallet. It's the same design.
Of course.
But of all the purses, we all know I'm making the transition. So,
Yes.
so of all the purses, this is the one that spoke to me the most. And at least Brandon, in my defense, said this is less feminine looking. He didn't say it was masculine, but he said it was at least less feminine looking after we adjusted the strap. Made
Yes.
it
That was
lower.
important.
And
Because he was
then
walking around with it like under his arm, like a literal purse. And I was like, can you get that strap to go longer so it becomes more like a backpack?
and this one was just funny. And the other one, it was like the other one was more money, and this one was cheaper and was already discounted at 20%. And then I still get the employee discount of 20%. So it was 40% off. So I started with that
Yes.
one. And then that one, it just spoke to me. There was two left. So I had to get one. Then there was one left, and now there are none. So there you go. And I mean, they're not like terribly expensive on eBay. There was like one or two, but that was something I didn't really want to miss out on. It's awesome. It even has, the little silver shamrock medallion as the zipper. Because
Oh,
why
that's
wouldn't you?
cool.
Yeah. So it's nice. It's very good. Except for if you look at the back, you can tell where the printing is and where the paint stamp
Oh, they
was.
screwed up. Yeah.
Yeah, but on the
Their
on the
machines
one that
weren't
was
aligned.
on the one that was left though, there was like frilly marks all over like the dials and like the stitching was coming undone. So I'm like, I'm not fucking getting that one. So, and I didn't even notice this until like I saw it in like direct lighting where I was like examining it. I'm like, oh, that's funky. But to tell you the truth, I really don't give a shit. Like this isn't going to be a collector's piece behind glass. I'm actually going to use it as my daily purse.
Who knows? It might be.
Yeah, and then like this wallet, sure. I am actually using it as a wallet. I don't think I could ever use it as a collector's piece. Maybe I'll get the Frankenstein wallet because then that one is going to be gone too. It's Frankenstein. It says there's a monster on the loose, or the
Unless
monster's
it's
on the loose.
licensed through the Don Post
I don't think
part
so.
of Trick or Treat Studios.
I'm not sure of, but
Me neither. Look,
there might have
we've
been.
traded positions. I'm the Lucas now today.
Yes.
The one that has to leave.
All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the Halloween haul of 2020. What year is it? 2023.
Allegedly.
Indeed. That was a lot of shit to show off.
It was ridiculous. But again, it was 2 months worth of stuff. It could have been worse. So
I saved this just for special features. I found Harry Potter themed Hershey Kisses. They were different ones, but
very
this
nice.
one was the best. Because all the candy that was left was like chocolate and old man candy. Kids don't want what I eat, apparently.
Correct.
More for me.
So anybody out there get anything fun within the last 2 months? Comment below. Let us know. How was your Halloween? You excited for Thanksgiving? Are you excited for Christmas?
Let excited to eat.
All right.
I'm excited to watch Christmas movies for 2 days.
What was the best item that we showed on the show today? Let us know.
The 92
what do you think about
murder mask?
The first part of the movie supposedly being in 1992 and how wrong that is. Comment below. Let us know. How shitty is Exorcist Believer? Let us know about that too. All right. Bye, everybody.